Which state borders Texas? Which of these states is Which state borders the Miss Oregon? I am Kentucky and I border the Mississippi River. Des Moines is the capital of which state? Iowa. Salt Lake City is the Utah. Which state shares a border with Washington? Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Hawaii. Which state shares a border? New Hampshire. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Delaware. Alaska. Kentucky. Alaska. Which of these states is South Dakota? Which of these states is Michigan? Nashville is the capital of which state? Maine, Kentucky, Mississippi, Tennessee. Tennessee. Which of these states is Montana? Montpelier is the Vermont. Which of these states is New? Richmond is the capital of Virginia. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Kansas. I am Wisconsin and I border the Mississippi River. Which state shares a border with West Virginia? Ohio. The flag below belongs to Colorado. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Arkansas. Which state shares a border with Nebraska? Kansas. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Texas. I am Minnesota and I border the Great Lakes. Which state shares a land border with Maine? Which state borders the New York? Which state borders the Mississippi River? Georgia. I am Wisconsin and I border the Mississippi River. Which of these states is Which of these states is West Virginia? Which state shares a border with Maryland? Delaware. The flag below belongs to which Nebraska? Which of these states? Augusta is the capital of Maine. The flag below belongs to which state? Massachusetts. Which state shares a border with Wyoming, Vermont, Idaho? Which state borders the Mississippi? Alabama. I am Kentucky and I border the Mississippi River. Topeka is the capital. Kansas. Which state shares a border? Alabama. Which state shares a land? North Dakota. Harrisburg is the capital of which state? Pennsylvania. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Missouri, North Carolina, Nevada, Michigan. Nevada. I am North Carolina and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which state borders the Great Lakes? New Hampshire, Minnesota, Nevada, Montana. New Hampshire. I am Minnesota and I border the Great Lakes. Helena is the capital of which state? Montana. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Nevada. I am Ohio and I border the Great Lakes. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Tennessee, Washington, Michigan, Indiana. Tennessee. The flag below belongs to Oklahoma. Which of these states is Indiana? Montpelier is the capital of which state? Tennessee. I am Vermont and Montpelier is my capital. Which state shares a border with Maryland, Virginia? Which state shares a land border? Alaska. Which state shares a border? Texas. Which of these states is Nebraska? The flag below belongs to Louisiana. Which state borders the Gulf of California? I am Mississippi and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state shares a land border with Canada? New Jersey, New Hampshire, New Hampshire. Which state shares a border with Mexico? Arizona. Which of these states is Hawaii? Springfield is the capital. Illinois. Which of these states is New Jersey? Which state borders the Mississippi River? Arizona. New Jersey. I am Wisconsin and I border the Mississippi River. Carson City is the capital of which state? Nevada. Which state shares a border with Mexico? New Mexico. Which of these states is Michigan? Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Washington. Denver is the capital of which state? Colorado. Which state borders the Mississippi? Texas. I am Missouri and I border the Mississippi River. The flag below belongs to which? New York. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Arkansas. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? North Carolina. I am Oregon and I border the Pacific Ocean. The flag below belongs to which state? Florida. Which of these states is West Virginia? The flag below belongs to which state? Connecticut. Which state shares a border with Georgia? New Mexico. Rhode Island. I am South Carolina and I share a border with Georgia. The flag below belongs to which state? Rhode Island. Which of these states is Wyoming? The flag below belongs to Oregon. The flag below belongs to Maryland. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Ohio, Georgia. I am Ohio and I border the Great Lakes. Which of these states is Virginia? Which of these states is West Virginia? Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Maryland, Washington, Wisconsin. I am Washington and I border the Pacific Ocean. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Texas, Virginia, Alaska, New Mexico. Texas. Which state shares a border with Mexico? Rhode Island, New Mexico. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Mississippi, Missouri, Louisiana, Wisconsin. Mississippi. I am Wisconsin and I border the Great Lakes. Which state shares a border with Maine, New Hampshire? Which of these states is Utah? The flag below belongs to which state? Vermont, Vermont. Lincoln is the capital of which state? Nebraska. Which state shares a border with Mexico? Iowa, California. Which state borders the Mississippi? Arizona. I am Arkansas and I border the Mississippi River. Which of these states is Florida? Which of these states is Wyoming? Juneau is the capital of which Alaska? Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Tennessee. I am New York and I border the Atlantic Ocean. The flag below belongs to which state? North Carolina. Which of these states is Alabama? Springfield is the capital. Illinois. Which state shares a border with Rhode Island? Oregon. I am Connecticut and I share a border with Rhode Island. Which state borders the Mississippi River? West Virginia, Wyoming, Texas, Tennessee. Wyoming. I am Tennessee and I border the Mississippi River. Which of these states is Arizona? Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Missouri, New Mexico, Oregon, Maine. New Mexico. I am Maine and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which of these states is Louisiana? I am Louisiana. Which of these states is... Which state shares a border with Mexico? Arizona. Which state shares a land border with Idaho? Which state shares a border with Indiana, Illinois? Which state borders the Pacific? Hawaii. Which of these states is Delaware? Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico, Mississippi? Which of these states is Indiana? Which state borders the Great Lakes? Washington. I am Minnesota and I border the Great Lakes. Which of these states is Massachusetts? The flag below belongs to which state? Iowa. I am Oklahoma and this is my flag. Which of these states is Iowa? Which of these states is Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Minnesota. I am South Carolina and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? South Dakota, Alaska, Rhode Island. Which of these states is Kansas? Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Missouri, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Maryland. Louisiana. Trenton is the capital of which state? New Jersey. Denver is the capital of Colorado. Which state shares a border with Mexico? Arizona. Which state shares a border with Michigan, Indiana, Arkansas, Wyoming? I am Indiana and I share a border with Michigan. Frankfurt is the capital of which state? Kentucky, Alaska, Colorado, Kentucky. Which of these states is Which of these states is Iowa? Which state shares a border with Louisiana, Michigan, Alabama? I am Arkansas and I share a border with Louisiana. Which of these states is Georgia? Phoenix is the capital of which state? Arizona. The flag below belongs to which state? New Mexico. Which of these states is New Jersey? Which state borders the Great Lakes? Illinois, Montana, Iowa, Illinois. Which of these states? Which state shares a border with Colorado, Georgia, New York, Wyoming, West Virginia? Wyoming. Which state shares a border with South Dakota, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Kentucky? I am Wyoming and I share a border with South Dakota. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Alabama, Montana. I am Oregon and I border the Pacific Ocean. Which state shares a border with Nebraska, Connecticut, California? I am Colorado and I share a border with Nebraska. Augusta is the capital of which state? Maine, Tennessee, Nebraska, Arizona. Nebraska. I am Maine and Augusta is my capital. Charleston is the capital of West Virginia. Which state borders the Mississippi? Utah. I am Kentucky and I border the Mississippi River. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Pennsylvania. I am Louisiana and I border the Mississippi River. Lansing is the capital of which state? Colorado, New Jersey, Michigan, Colorado. I am Michigan and Lansing is my capital. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Wyoming, Minnesota, Washington. Which of these states is Mississippi? Which state shares a border with Wisconsin, Oregon, Vermont, New Hampshire, Iowa? Iowa. Which state shares a border with New York? I am New Mexico and I share a border with Arizona. Which of these states is... The flag below belongs to Maine. I am New York and this is my flag. Which state shares a border with Minnesota, Virginia, New Mexico, Iowa. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Florida. The flag below belongs to Minnesota. Carson City is the capital of which Nevada? Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Maine. I am Texas and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Maryland, Kansas, Missouri, New Mexico, Missouri. Which of these states is Montana? Which state borders the Mississippi River? Tennessee, Pennsylvania. I am Tennessee and I border the Mississippi River. The flag below belongs to which state? Nebraska, North Carolina. Dover is the capital of which Delaware? Which state shares a border with Maryland, Florida, Virginia? Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? New Mexico, Washington. I am South Carolina and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Juneau is the capital of which state? Virginia, Alaska, Idaho, Colorado. Idaho. I am Alaska and Juneau is my capital. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Alabama, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Wisconsin. Nebraska. I am Wisconsin and I border the Mississippi River. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Georgia, Georgia. I am Hawaii and I border the Pacific Ocean. Hartford is the capital of Indiana. I am Connecticut and Hartford is my capital. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Indiana, South Dakota, North Dakota, North Dakota. I am Florida and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Indiana, Arizona, North Dakota, Rhode Island. Arizona. I am Indiana and I border the Great Lakes. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Texas, North Dakota, Iowa. I am Ohio and I border the Great Lakes. Which state borders the Mississippi River? New Mexico, Louisiana, North Dakota, Montana, New Mexico. I am Louisiana and I border the Mississippi River. Which state shares a border with Oklahoma, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Arkansas, South Dakota? I am Arkansas and I share a border with Oklahoma. Which of these states is Maryland? I am Maryland. Which state shares a border with Idaho, Washington, California, Maryland, Connecticut? I am Washington and I share a border with Idaho. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Massachusetts. I am Florida and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Boston is the capital of Utah. I am Massachusetts and Boston is my capital. Boise is the capital of which Virginia? I am Idaho and Boise is my capital. Which of these states is South Dakota? I am South Dakota. Which of these states is North Dakota? I am North Dakota. Topeka is the capital of which state? Arkansas. I am Kansas and Topeka is my capital. Which of these states is Nebraska? Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? New Mexico, Texas, Oregon, Wisconsin. Texas. I am Oregon and I border the Pacific Ocean. The flag below belongs to Wisconsin. I am Alaska and this is my flag. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Arkansas, Utah. I am Massachusetts and I border the Atlantic Ocean. The flag below belongs to which state? Colorado. I am Louisiana and this is my flag. Pierre is the capital of which state? South Dakota. Oregon. South Dakota. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Nebraska, Idaho, Michigan, Louisiana. Idaho. I am Michigan and I border the Great Lakes. Atlanta is the capital of which state? Ohio. I am Georgia and Atlanta is my capital. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Maryland, Oklahoma, Indiana, Colorado, Oklahoma. I am Indiana and I border the Great Lakes. The flag below belongs to which state? New Hampshire, Illinois, Nebraska, New Mexico. Illinois. I am New Hampshire and this is my flag. Which state shares a border with Wyoming? Utah. Which state shares a border with New Jersey? West Pennsylvania. The flag below belongs to which state? Kentucky. Kentucky. Which state shares a land border with Canada? New York, Ohio. I am New York and I share a land border with Canada. Little Rock is the capital of New Jersey. I am Arkansas and Little Rock is my capital. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Mississippi. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Oklahoma, Oregon, Missouri, North Carolina. Oklahoma. I am North Carolina and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which state shares a border with Montana, Florida, Arkansas, Wyoming, Nevada? Wyoming. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Wyoming, Ohio, Maryland, Alabama. Wyoming. I am Ohio and I border the Great Lakes. Which state shares a border with Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Iowa, Nebraska? Idaho. Which state shares a border with Oklahoma, Wyoming, North Carolina? Wyoming. I am Arkansas and I share a border with Oklahoma. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Hawaii, Nevada. I am Alabama and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Florida, Washington, Pennsylvania. Washington. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Vermont, Iowa, Kansas. Iowa. I am Minnesota and I border the Great Lakes. Which state borders the Gulf of New Jersey? I am Texas and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which of these states is Maryland? I am Maryland. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Florida, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, Missouri. Pennsylvania. I am Florida and I border the Gulf of Mexico. The flag below belongs to which state? Oklahoma, Texas. I am Oklahoma and this is my flag. The flag below belongs to which state? Kentucky, Oklahoma, Connecticut, Kansas. Oklahoma. I am Connecticut and this is my flag. Phoenix is the capital of which state? Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. Pennsylvania. I am Arizona and Phoenix is my capital. Springfield is the capital of which state? Alabama, Illinois. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Wisconsin, Washington, Wisconsin. Which of these states is... Which state shares a border with Tennessee, Montana, North Dakota, North Carolina, New Jersey? I am North Carolina and I share a border with Tennessee. Which state borders the Miss Tennessee? Which state shares a border with California, Washington, Arizona, Delaware, Virginia? Washington. I am Arizona and I share a border with California. Which state shares a border with Idaho, Kentucky, Maine, Illinois, Kentucky? I am Utah and I share a border with Idaho. Trenton is the capital of which state? Kansas, Kansas. I am New Jersey and Trenton is my capital. Which of these states is North Dakota? Which of these states is Maine? I am Maine. Which of these states is Kansas? I am Kansas. Which of these states is Rhode Island? I am Rhode Island. Richmond is the capital of which state? Iowa, Nevada, Oregon, Virginia. Oregon. I am Virginia and Richmond is my capital. Which state shares a land border with Canada? Maryland. I am Vermont and I share a land border with Canada. Columbia is the capital of which state? Tennessee, South Carolina, Wyoming. I am South Carolina and Columbia is my capital. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Utah, Washington. I am Texas and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state shares a land border with Montana? Which state borders the Great Lakes? Minnesota. Which state borders the Great Lakes? New York, Iowa, Oregon, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. I am New York and I border the Great Lakes. Jefferson City is the capital of which state? South Dakota. I am Missouri and Jefferson City is my capital. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Arizona, Maryland, New York, Louisiana. Arizona. I am Louisiana and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state borders the Gulf of Wisconsin? I am Florida and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Kentucky. Honolulu is the capital of which state? Indiana. I am Hawaii and Honolulu is my capital. Which state shares a land border with Canada? Kentucky. I am New Hampshire and I share a land border with Canada. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Arizona, Louisiana, Montana, Indiana. I am Louisiana and I border the Mississippi River. The flag below belongs to which state? Utah. I am California and this is my flag. Santa Fe is the capital. Washington. I am New Mexico and Santa Fe is my capital. Which state shares a border with Washington? Mississippi. I am Idaho and I share a border with Washington. Which of these states is New York? I am New York. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Arizona, Nevada, Hawaii. I am New Jersey and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which state shares a land border with Canada? New Mexico. I am Montana and I share a land border with Canada. Which of these states is Arizona? I am Arizona. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Maine, California, Missouri, Maryland. California. I am Missouri and I border the Mississippi River. Which state shares a border with Rhode Island, Montana? I am Massachusetts and I share a border with Rhode Island. Tallahassee is the capital of which state? South Dakota. I am Florida and Tallahassee is my capital. Which state shares a border with Mexico? Louisiana, Kansas. I am Texas and I share a border with Mexico. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Wyoming, Alaska, Colorado, Delaware. Wyoming. I am Delaware and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Alabama, Michigan. Which of these states is Kansas? I am Kansas. St. Paul is the capital of which? North Dakota. I am Minnesota and St. Paul is my capital. Which of these states is North Carolina? Pierre is the capital of which state? Oregon. I am South Dakota and Pierre is my capital. Nashville is the capital of which state? Texas. I am Tennessee and Nashville is my capital. Jackson is the capital of which state? Wisconsin. I am Mississippi and Jackson is my capital. The flag below belongs to which state? Oklahoma. I am Washington, and this is my flag. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Alaska. I am Alabama, and I border the Gulf of Mexico. The flag below belongs to which Oregon? I am Nevada, and this is my flag. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Alaska, Oklahoma, Ohio. I am Alaska, and I border the Pacific Ocean. Which of these states is New Hampshire? I am New Hampshire. Which of these states is North? I am North Dakota. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Louisiana, Maine. I am Louisiana, and I border the Mississippi River. Frankfurt is the capital of which state? Delaware, South Carolina. I am Kentucky, and Frankfurt is my capital. Which state shares a border with Pennsylvania, Iowa, North Carolina, Arkansas, Maryland, North Carolina? I am Maryland, and I share a border with Pennsylvania. Cheyenne is the capital of which state? Wyoming, Ohio. I am Wyoming, and Cheyenne is my capital. The flag below belongs to which Ohio? Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? New Hampshire. I am California, and I border the Pacific Ocean. Little Rock is the North Dakota. I am Arkansas, and Little Rock is my capital. Which of these states is West Virginia? Which of these states is I am Oklahoma. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Connecticut, Nebraska, Indiana. Which of these states is Augusta is the capital of which state? Pennsylvania. I am Maine, and Augusta is my capital. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Wisconsin, South Carolina. I am Wisconsin, and I border the Mississippi River. Which of these states is Hawaii? I am Hawaii. Which of these states is Illinois? I am Illinois. Lincoln is the capital of which state? Nebraska, Arkansas. I am Nebraska, and Lincoln is my capital. Columbia is the capital of which state? South Carolina. Which state shares a border with Colorado? Utah. The flag below belongs to which state? Maryland. I am Vermont and this is my flag. Providence is the capital of which Montana. I am Rhode Island and Providence is my capital. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Alaska. Oregon. I am Georgia and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which state shares a border with Delaware? New Jersey. Which of these states is North Carolina? I am North Carolina. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Texas, New Jersey, Vermont, Idaho. Vermont. I am Texas and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state shares a border with New Mexico, Rhode Island, Oklahoma, Utah, West Virginia? West Virginia. I am Oklahoma and I share a border with New Mexico. Which of these states is? I am Missouri. Which state shares a border with Indiana, Illinois, New Mexico? I am Illinois and I share a border with Indiana. Which of these states is Oregon? I am Oregon. Charleston is the capital of which state? Iowa. I am West Virginia and Charleston is my capital. Which state shares a border with Indiana, Georgia, West Virginia, Delaware, Ohio, West Virginia? I am Ohio and I share a border with Indiana. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Virginia, Indiana, Virginia. I am Indiana and I border the Great Lakes. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Wyoming, Iowa, Tennessee, Wyoming. I am Wisconsin and I border the Great Lakes. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Indiana, Montana. I am Kentucky and I border the Mississippi River. Which of these states is North Dakota? I am North Dakota. Which state borders the Great Lake? Nebraska. I am New York and I border the Great Lakes. Which state shares a land border with Canada? New Hampshire, Colorado, Colorado. I am New Hampshire and I share a land border with Canada. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Arizona, Hawaii, Wyoming, Colorado. Wyoming. I am Hawaii and I border the Pacific Ocean. The flag below belongs to which state? Idaho, Maryland. Which state shares a border with Vermont, New Hampshire, Iowa? I am New Hampshire and I share a border with Vermont. Augusta is the capital of Maine. The flag below belongs to Colorado. I am Louisiana and this is my flag. Which of these states is... I am Massachusetts. Which of these states is Rhode Island? I am Rhode Island. Montgomery is the capital of which state? Pennsylvania. North Pennsylvania. I am Alabama and Montgomery is my capital. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Rhode Island. Washington. Rhode Island. I am Washington and I border the Pacific Ocean. The flag below belongs to which state? Pennsylvania. Which of these states is Mississippi? I am Mississippi. Which state borders the Great Lakes? Mississippi. Massachusetts. Massachusetts. I am Minnesota and I border the Great Lakes. Columbia is the capital of which state? South Carolina. Washington. I am South Carolina and Columbia is my capital. Santa Fe is the capital. Nevada. I am New Mexico and Santa Fe is my capital. Nashville is the capital of which state? Arizona, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Montana. Tennessee. Which state borders the Gulf of Missouri? I am Florida and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Virginia. I am Florida and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state shares a land border with Canada? Kansas, New Mexico. I am Vermont and I share a land border with Canada. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Connecticut, North Dakota, Ohio, Colorado. Connecticut. Pierre is the capital of which state? Missouri. I am South Dakota and Pierre is my capital. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Arkansas. Arkansas. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Iowa, Rhode Island, Montana, Idaho. Rhode Island. I am Iowa and I border the Mississippi River. Which state shares a border with California? New Hampshire, New Hampshire. I am Oregon and I share a border with California. Which state shares a border with Utah? Iowa, Illinois, Louisiana, Wyoming. Iowa. I am Wyoming and I share a border with Utah. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Alaska, Arizona, West Virginia. I am Alaska and I border the Pacific Ocean. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Nevada, Idaho, Idaho. I am California and I border the Pacific Ocean. Which state shares a border with Mexico? Washington, Arizona, Maryland, Maine. Washington. I am Arizona and I share a border with Mexico. Which of these states is I am Colorado. Which state shares a land border with Canada? Florida. I am Montana and I share a land border with Canada. Lansing is the capital of which Michigan? Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Wisconsin. I am Delaware and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Topeka is the capital of Louisiana. I am Kansas and Topeka is my capital. Which state shares a border with Oklahoma, Mississippi? I am Texas and I share a border with Oklahoma. Which of these states is Wisconsin? I am Wisconsin. Concord is the capital of which state? New Hampshire. Which of these states is North Carolina? I am North Carolina. Which of these states is New Jersey? Which of these states is Washington? I am Washington. Which state shares a border with Mexico? Michigan. I am Arizona and I share a border with Mexico. Which of these states is Ohio? I am Ohio. Which of these states is Connecticut? I am Connecticut. Which state shares a border with Missouri? Arkansas. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Pennsylvania, Iowa. Which state shares a border with Oregon, Idaho, Alaska, New Jersey, Kansas? New Jersey. I am Idaho and I share a border with Oregon. Salt Lake City is the capital of which state? Massachusetts, Utah, Arizona, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. I am Utah and Salt Lake City is my capital. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? South Carolina, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Hawaii. Hawaii. Which of these states is Oklahoma City is the capital of which state? Oklahoma. Maine. Maine. I am Oklahoma and Oklahoma City is my capital. Which state borders the Great Lakes? West Virginia. In Tennessee. I am Indiana and I border the Great Lakes. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Iowa. Arkansas. Rhode Island. Kansas. Kansas. I am Rhode Island and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which state shares a land border with New York? Which of these states is New Mexico? I am New Mexico. Annapolis is the capital of which state? Maryland. Delaware. New York. Ohio. Maryland. The flag below belongs to which state? Maine. Georgia. Illinois. I am Maine and this is my flag. Springfield is the capital of which Kansas? I am Illinois and Springfield is my capital. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Florida. Indiana. Kentucky. I am Florida and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which of these states is Kentucky? I am Kentucky. Which of these states is North Dakota? I am North Dakota. Sacramento is the capital of which state? California. Which state shares a border with Georgia, Virginia, Wyoming, Arkansas, North Carolina? Oregon. I am North Carolina and I share a border with South Carolina. Which state borders the Mississippi River? California, Colorado. I am Missouri and I border the Mississippi River. Which state borders the Pacific Ocean? Wisconsin. I am Alaska and I border the Pacific Ocean. Which of these states is Oregon?